You just got a one-way ticket to the resurrection. What movie is that? Is that Scarface?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's Scarface. That's what he says before he sprays them all up at the end.
Oh my God, that's so funny. He was talking crazy shit.
Yeah, that was after he was trying to fuck his own sister.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. She was bad.
Oh, it's you get a first class ticket to the resurrection. And he pops, what's the dude's name? Sosa? That's at the end of Act 1, and that's how he becomes like the, or no, it might be Frank. I don't know. I don't remember that movie much.
I know one of them was Sosa.
Frank might be Sosa, low-key. Or no, Frank's the first dude who's running shit, and then Sosa's the guy who he's teaming up with trying to make money.
I need to rewatch that because I only watched it as a kid and I didn't love it. I feel like I would love it more. Because I always used to say like, oh, it's no good feathers. It's
good feathers.
Just a duck mafia. I was like, it's no Goodfellas, it's no Godfather, you know. But now I'm just like, man, that movie sounds really fun. I should rewatch that.
Yeah, bro. Tap in.
All right, I'll start us up here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. My name is Reuben, joined here today with Cam, not Scattaboo, and we are back to review Gen V Season 2, Episode 6, and we're also going to talk about the entire season up until this point, give our general thoughts, react to that final scene in Episode 6, and all the revelations, all the conspiracies, which I would argue, and I will argue later on this review, are better than the conspiracies in The Boys. And before we get into today's review, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, and actually, I'm not sure, is this going up on Patreon? It might, but if it isn't, go ahead and check out our Patreon page where we have this, or maybe not, but we also have other stuff like Better Call Saul, Peacemaker, solo podcasts, fan question podcasts. I kind of like the Patreon better than the main channel at this point. And follow us on social medias at Nerd Soup, at Beau Soup, at I guess I'll just plug Aaron, at Nerd Soup Monkey, and then you could see Cam in the replies giving him some shit. Mostly about the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with his delusion this year. That team's ass.
That team is, dude, I was thinking about it, like half of their lives, more than half of their lives, the majority of their lives, the Jets have been piss awful.
Yeah, and they have hope every year. It's insane. And they're in a pretty bad division, too. Or I guess the Bills are good and the Patriots were always good, but like they're never like deep. There's never like two teams who are like powerhouses, like how we had the Cowboys and the Eagles or the Commanders being good, you know. They could make a playoff appearance and they just choose not to, it seems like.
Well, even with the Bills being as dominant as they are historically, haven't been to a Super Bowl in over 2 decades, right? Since the 4 in a row. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in like 50 years.
Dude, the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game my entire life.
Yeah, so it's just like, you should be doing better. Being a Jets fan, being dominated by the Patriots your entire life, just to be dominated by the Bills the second half, that's torture.
It's the Joe Namath curse. Once he's gone, the Jets will be good again.
Damn, that's ominous. Somebody's going to hear that and take matters into their own hands.
Nobody do anything about that.
Do you condemn You've been canceled. All right, let's get into Gen V. Like I said, conspiracies. The main one being the Odessa project. It was revealed that it is Marie, which was a fun little twist because, you know, whenever they set up these super secret scientific projects, you're always like, is it a weapon? Is it a virus? Is it a piece of technology? And when it turns out to be a person, it's like, oh, that's clever. I didn't think about that. Although I'm sure many people have thought about that because it's been long speculated that Marie is going to be the one to maybe not kill Homelander, but subdue him to a level where he can be killed by somebody else, somebody from the boys, where it makes more thematic sense. But I think going episode by episode this show, getting more information about Marie, about Cypher, and what his deal is, it's really being carried by the relationship between the friends. And I like how they focus on that core group, their dynamics, carrying over what happened between them in season 1, how they've changed, how they're carrying that weight. Even a character like Kate, who I feel like had more narrative purpose in season 1, I think what she's been carrying around in season 2 has really opened up her character to more sympathy, more understanding. Her planning that whole scheme to record Cypher with them. The fact that she's, you know, willing to stand up to this guy who's basically been abusing her and using her, standing with her friends once again. And I've really enjoyed the relationship, the developing romance between Marie and Jordan. Emma is funny. I don't know why, but Emma feels like somebody I knew from a past life. She's just so familiar, her vibe.
Yes, she seems like somebody you would chill with.
Yeah, it's somebody you can hang out with, go catch a movie, get high in your room, and very platonic. She's got that vibe to her. But I do like her new little love interest. She deserves that, you know? She's going through a lot.
That sketches me out. I don't know. Something about that dude. We haven't seen his powers yet, I don't believe. And the fact that he just shows up, I don't trust him. I don't know. But we'll see as the season goes on. I've loved the start of the season, dude. I mean, Gen V seems like, or at least it seemed like before the season, a spin-off show that really wasn't going to matter all that much. I remember telling my friends, hey, you need to watch Gen V season 1 before you go into The Boys season 4. And then you didn't really have to watch it, considering they only showed up in that last episode to help out Homelander. But it seems like this season and the show as a whole now is going to be very impactful, like you said, on the whole state of The Boys going forward. It seems like Marie and Emma, at least, or even Sam, could be like key parts, like you said, in taking down Homelander. Marie's powers are insane. She's basically another Newman, but even better at this point. I'm really excited to see how they incorporate her character into The Boys and how she helps out Starlight, or if Starlight comes back this season, how they transition this ending, or whatever the ending may be, into another season of the show.
Yeah, definitely. They've done a really good job not forcing you to watch the other stuff, not treating it like homework. You still can watch these in a vacuum, understand the story. It just makes it better when you understand or when you know about the context of what's happening in The Boys and how they are related. But yeah, that final moment from episode 6, I really thought at first Annabeth was a goner. And then very quickly I realized, oh, this is another test. He's pushing her to the who knows what the limits truly are for Marie's power. But this is a new goalpost that wasn't even thinkable or plausible. And I think that's what's interesting too, the way they play with her powers. You know, you just assume, oh, I can control blood, but you know, somebody needs to be cut. I need to cut myself. And Cypher opening up this idea of, no, you can just control blood. You're like a fucking bloodbender. Her bringing back her sister to life is such a disturbing thing to wrap your head around. This idea of how far is she truly going? Is it just blood? Or is there some type of molecular manipulation to where she can tap into just living cells?
Yeah. I mean, when she was dead, when Annabeth was dead, I was really like, damn, is she like actually dead? I knew she was going to attempt to heal her, but I was like, what if Cypher's wrong here? Like, what if she can't bring her back to life and this causes Marie to crash out? But that was a great moment, dude, because now who knows what, like you said, her limits are going forward. Like Marie, obviously Homelander's Homelander, right? But she looks like she's like a top 5 most powerful soup in the world right now, right?
Oh yeah,
like with that power, she could theoretically do anything. Or like if she wants, she can just pick somebody up and manipulate their body. She can explode them. She can heal anybody. Like, how do you really stop her if you're Homelander? Besides, I mean, being Homelander, you know. There was always that scene in The Boys last season where Newman's talking to Homelander, and Homelander says, like, oh, you gonna try to pop me? You think you could do it? But if you try, you better be able to do it, because if not, you're done. And it's like, I'm starting to think maybe Marie can pop Homelander, or can at least put up a decent fight against him, you know?
Right, because with Homelander's powers, they keep it vague how strong he is. It's just he's the strongest. But what does that mean when you pin him up against somebody who has exhibited probably the most impressive feat? And this is where we get into the nerdy stuff, but it's fun, the power scaling. Her resurrecting her sister is by far the most impressive or powerful thing that we've seen on this show when it comes to what Compound V is capable of. So yeah, putting her up against Homelander, it's that moment is going to be incredibly intense, because it's this expectation of, can she do it? Will she do it? what happens if she fails? What does Homelander do next? And I don't think it will be as simple as Homelander ripping through Marie, but that is certainly a confrontation that they're teasing over and over again. And I had theories that, and the more we see of him, the less I think this, but I thought that Cypher was similar to a Billy Butcher, not a traditional villain, but someone who's a radical fighting for the so-called good guys, fighting for humanity, and he's willing to go to any lengths in order to have Marie maximize her potential because she knows, or he knows, that she's our only shot. So he's willing to go that far, to push her that far, to kill her sister so she can bring her back to life, to take control of Jordan's body, which was a violation.
Oh yeah, that was frightening.
Yeah, I thought Marie was going to explode her, man. I thought she was done.
Like when she's holding her in the air, I was like, oh my gosh, if she messes up a little bit, this could be it for Jordan. And I thought, honestly, that it was going to be it for Jordan. And that was going to be a huge moment for them going forward. It definitely has affected Jordan's like psyche and relationship with Marie, it seems like. Like you said, though, Cypher, I really wonder what his true intentions are. I mean, I've told you my theory that I believe his dad, or whatever they're saying that dude is Godolkin. And that that's why his body is destroyed from what we see in episode 1. But I think that also Godolkin, and they kind of alluded to it when Sister Sage was having sex with Cypher and looking at the body, that maybe he's like Professor Xing him at all times, and he's like just fully in control of his body. My current theory is that Cypher is using Odessa, or Marie, I guess, to try to heal his body. Like in that last episode, Jordan says while she's in the cell, Jordan says, "Oh, you're in pain all the time." And it's like, why would he be in pain? Because this dude is burnt to a crisp, you know? So I think that currently what Cypher's big plan is to try to heal his body, or heal Godolkin's body, by using Marie. And now that Marie has healed her sister, maybe that is the final step to completing that task.
Man, that's a great theory. Yeah, I think that you might be on the money.
Yeah, I think that his powers probably just stretch to like an insane degree that we haven't seen. So when he's in the lab in that scene and everything sets on fire in episode 1, the opening, I assume that he just got compound V and everything mixed on him from everybody. You know, like he just got like a huge compound V storm on him. I don't know.
Right.
But his powers are just insane because of that. I'm not even convinced that Cypher is actually his son. I think Cypher could be his son, but he also could just be like, he keeps saying, what's the word? Like a meat puppet. Remember? That's what he was using as the term. What if Cypher might be just a meat puppet for him to be able to live a semi-normal life, you know? You see in a few of the episodes, Cypher's eating those weird smoothies. Like he's just throwing like what looks like he's trying to get his macros in. You know, he's throwing chicken and milk in a blender.
He's got a bad eating disorder.
Yeah. I think that's because he needs to do that in order to live, you know? He's just looking for sustenance there. Like something to keep Cypher's body in a good state until he can accomplish his goal. And the fact that Cypher's name was Dr. Gold when Marie was being born is like, I feel like that confirms that it has to be that he is a Godolkin, you know? I mean, I could be off here, but I think I'm cooking a little bit.
Yeah, so the panicked scientist was Godolkin, right? In the flashback?
Yes,
okay.
The one who was running in, who was like, yo, don't take that shit. And then they all took it and instantly died. And he's stuck in that room, but we never see him die. But the fact that the room was on fire and this dude in the tube has burn scars all over him, I think that that has to be him.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet to make. And then you can get into the motivations of, because even if it's not Godolkin is puppeting Cypher and then Cypher puppets other people, and maybe that's why he's in pain. Jordan was able to sense the pain that Godolkin is always in because of what we've seen with his body.
Exactly. And the fact that Cypher has no compound V in his blood, I feel like that has to mean he's being puppeted, right? Because how would he be able to... I
think you've cracked this shit.
Yeah. I'm just like, if he has no V in his blood, how would he be able to do this? You know, like he would be like, we don't, unless if he's using like, I don't know, like you would be able to see temp V in his blood though, too.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't...
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
He has like a spatial awareness of everything going on, it seems, at all times. Like Kate tries touching him in the back to like push him in the first episode, and bro instantly turns around and like feels her presence and tries putting her hand in the blender. I think that like he's like, I don't know. He's literally Professor X, which is what I like a lot about this season. And I'll get back to how I think Cypher is, besides Homelander, probably the best villain we have seen so far in the Boys universe. Because I've only seen this actor before. I don't know his name. During Midnight Mass. Have you seen that show?
Yeah. Hamish Linklater.
Yes, he was so good in Midnight Mass.
Unbelievable.
I feel like whenever he is on the screen in this show, he's the best part. Like, he steals the scenes, and he truly feels like someone who's always 5 steps ahead. He's really playing chess on them. And I understand that's because he has Sister Sage with him, who is the smartest person in the world. And I don't know how anybody beats her, because she's like Batman with prep time times 1,000. But
I love Sister Sage, man.
Yeah, they're dynamic. The two of them together, I really don't know how you beat them. And maybe the answer is we don't beat them this season. Or maybe they're even trying to beat Homelander. I don't know, because it seems like they have their own plan. They're scheming up together, and that they're on the same side here. And I don't see Sage as somebody who would be Homelander's puppet, even if it meant getting power. You know, I feel like she has her own ulterior motives here.
Yeah, dude, the more I think about it too, because even Sister Sage and Cypher having sex in front of Godolkin so that he could watch, now thinking back on that scene, it feels like he's feeling it. And,
dude, yeah, and
they're giving him a show.
She covers his eyes and is looking at Godolkin.
It's like that, dude, that's gotta be it. That's got to be it.
But then you think about like little things, like the fact that he is then taking care of himself at all times, you know, which is
right.
It's kind of sad, but it's also, I feel like, adds so much to him. Like, that this guy is so mysterious. We really do know nothing about him. We're just cracking the surface on him. And I don't know, how many episodes are there supposed to be this season?
8.
So we still have, what, 3 more episodes? That was episode 5 or 6?
Yeah, that was 5. Yeah, we have 3 more.
Yeah, so we just have so much more to learn about him, and I'm very excited. I hope we keep him around for the future, honestly, because like I said, he's just been so good.
Yeah, it's taking Professor X, flipping it on its head. You have the gentle, thoughtful, understanding professor who is going to hold your hand as he pushes you. Cypher's the complete opposite. He is not holding your hand. He is pushing you from the very beginning, from the back, get in there, throwing you to the lions. So that's been fun. And whatever is really going on with his character, I think that they've handled a lot of the conspiracies very cleanly, to where, okay, maybe Cypher is this puppet for Godolkin and he's the true mastermind. But the revelation of Odessa raising the stakes for Marie personally, and as you mentioned with Jordan, they know that things are going to change forever. So how do you maintain this relationship, this normalcy, where they never even got a chance to go out on a date and pay somebody to bring them food, which I thought was a really cute idea that they had. Now things are so much bigger than just the two of them, to where Marie's life is so valuable to so many different people. When they talk about the virus in season 4 of The Boys, now you have a living, walking weapon, and we've seen what characters do in this universe. It keeps happening in Gen V. They keep getting imprisoned. People are going to try and capture Marie and use Marie. She's basically become Pikachu, and everybody else is Team Rocket. And the way they've tied that together and made it a very personal cross for her to carry. You know, it's one thing to find out you're a small part of a larger plan and you're being manipulated, but she finds out she's the most important piece of a much larger plan. So how do you square that with what you have going on in your personal life, trying to reconnect with your sister, wanting a normal relationship with Jordan, with all these new expectations and the outside forces that are going to try and manipulate you? So I think that the way that they've handled Marie as the main character, as the most important part of this show, has been very impressive. And as I mentioned, I just enjoy their friend group, that it really comes down to the decisions they want to make as college kids. You know, do we go and save Kate? Yes, she fucked us over, but it's the right thing to do. And we know that she's been manipulated. And her having that moment of realizing her friends, after everything she did, came back to save her is, it almost made me tear up a bit. You know, because of everything that character did. She was very hateable in season 1 because of the choices that she made. But I think that they've handled her redemption very well in season 2.
Yeah, I definitely hated Kate, and I hated her coming into the season. Like when they initially almost kill Kate, I was like, all right, yeah, let's leave Kate to die. I was with Emma there. I was like, I'm cool with Kate dying. She's a bad person. But at this point, I felt really bad for Kate. I do want to see her get redeemed because at the end of the day, she's a good person to have on your side. If she does get her powers in check, like what if she went to Homelander and said to kill himself or something? You know, what if she touches anybody, and she can get them into high places. She could mess with Sage. She can mess with, who knows, Godolkin, whatever it may be. And I've liked Kate's character a lot this season. Like you said, the group as a whole, their dynamic has been good. It really does feel like they've been friends for years. I'm really interested to see who actually makes it out of this season, because I feel like the group dynamic has been so good that something has to happen where one of them, at least one of them, goes down.
Yeah, I'm so afraid that it's going to be Jordan. Keeps talking about the consequences of all of this. Yeah. And looking forward to what's going to happen, not what is currently happening. And whenever a character starts thinking about the future, it usually means they're not going to be around for it. And that could be the moment where they've teased it a couple of times. How far is Cypher willing to go to push Marie, that Jordan's death could turn her not into the hero that's going to save the world, but into another Homelander, because she snapped, because she's been so traumatized. And even the way she talked about her powers when she was getting the crap beaten out of her by Jordan, and she finally locks in, she said, I felt like I could have taken down the entire arena, which is terrifying. I think her powers have always been kind of nasty, seeing her deal with the blood and having to cut herself. But hearing that from one of your friends who has been just a rock for this group, just a good person, even though she did escape from Elmira and didn't go back for them. Hearing her talk about power in that way is a little scary, because we've seen in this universe what that type of power is capable of doing. And sometimes you could snap and unintentionally kill somebody that you love. So if it is Jordan who ends up dying, I would be absolutely devastated. I think the casting of that character was pretty brilliant. London Thor and Derek Liu doing a dual casting there, or a dual acting role. And I think that they evenly share screen time. So it is seamless the way they go back and forth. And even seeing the moment of sleeping with Marie as a woman and asking her, is this okay? So I think that there have been a lot of touching moments between those two characters, an organic relationship. And if they rip it apart, if they rip it from us, that would be truly devastating to end this season. Even a character like Sam, who I felt, in season 1, he was such a volatile presence, and, the hallucinations, the relationship with Emma, the tragic ending for that character and his brother. But in this season, they've also, not quite as important in this season, but I really enjoyed the scene with his mom, her getting that stuff off of her chest. And that's something that he needed to hear, that it wasn't the compound V, that this is something he's been dealing with his entire life.
This isn't the V, bro. You're just crazy.
Essentially. So it's like, if that character, who's now in a more peaceful place than he's probably ever been, where he gets to be one of the gang, he gets to save the day, potentially could become part of the gang again. He can be a normal kid in school, hanging out with his friends and using his awesome powers for good. I was so happy that the fight between Sam and Jordan didn't end with any innocents dying or not too much damage, that it ends with them both in the grass, taking a breather and being like, let's try and put this shit behind us, man, because you're too strong and scary to be spazzing out like this.
Yeah. Sam is such an interesting character to me, because the more we see Sam, the more I think about how much time we had with Golden Boy. And we've really only had one episode of Golden Boy.
Right.
But his presence is still felt so much throughout the show because of Sam, and because of the relationship that he had with people like Jordan or Emma or all of them. And it's so interesting to me how Sam is so powerful, but he's literally like a 7-year-old in his brain, He obviously has the anger issues and everything. But when did he get captured? How old was he? He was in a prison getting experimented on for years. And it's just the whole, like you said, the volatility. Would that be the term? Big words out here. of his character is just so crazy because at any moment, like you said, when he's arguing with his mom just on the phone. She says she's ordering pizza, and dude just spazzes and punches his dad and sent him like 30 feet. So very much looking forward to a Sam redemption arc and him helping out a lot going forward, because if you're tier listing or power scaling the group right now, Sam's probably the second strongest, right? He's probably stronger than Jordan if he does learn how to use his powers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what Sam does going forward.
Yeah, the actor Asa Germain, he looks like a villain. And I mean that complimentary, where he's just intimidating, and he's a time bomb, as you mentioned. So we will see moving forward if he can get more of a grasp on his powers and more of a handle on everything. Because sometimes this show, man, they just love to torture these characters. So I thought when he pushed his dad, that his dad was going to die, and it was just going to be another fucked up thing that happened to Sam. Because his mom immediately goes to rat him out. You know, him having to deal with the consequences of his volatility and his inability to control himself in these situations. And that's kind of what they're developing in this season. Can he ever get to that point? And I hope he does. I hope that conversation with his mom goes a long way.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Sam's dad too while we're at it, bro. W-Mans. He's just he seems like a good dad, actually. Like, he was there. He instantly was there for his son, even though he knows that his son can be a crazy monster at times. And they picked up right where they left off. He's sitting there watching, what is it, Avenue V? Sesame Street. Or like, they're watching the little cartoons. He's asking him if he gives the best hug still. He's measuring his height on the wall. He's like, he did look for his son. Like, he tried to go and meet up with Sam. Like, dad. That's one.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. And even when he's telling him, or when he's talking about how Sam was on the run and didn't check back in with them, and how heartbroken he was by that. And you're getting two sides of parenthood there. You have the one unconditional, and the mom who still very much loves Sam, but she's more cautious and she's more willing to include outside parties when it comes to dealing with him. So you can kind of understand both sides and understand, the flaws with those parents as well. But yeah, no, seeing his dad embrace him in that way, as I said, unconditional love, just happy to see his kid, gives him a big hug. And you can even tell from that first interaction that the mom is a bit colder and standoffish, because she does not look happy to see Sam there. But yeah, no, that stuff was really strong, and I think it goes a long way. And I think that's why the way that Gen V has handled their characters has been a bit more clean than the way The Boys has. And where I feel like in season 4, the characters were so scattered, and a lot of them struggled to be grounded in anything that was deeply personal or moving, impactful for the audience. Whereas Gen V, you still get the big, moments, the action moments, the blood, the sex, the disgusting. Sometimes they need to cool it with some of the disgusting shit that they do. But the characters.
Dude, I don't need to see a guy's dick when he's sitting down on the toilet, bro. What are we doing here?
Bro, the dicks and people coming out of butts.
Yeah. But
I'm not against butt stuff, but you go, how many times are you going to do that joke? We get it. They have powers and they use them to do butt stuff. But it's the smaller character moments that really make Gen V, and I'm going to compare them because why the fuck not? A better show at this point than what The Boys is giving us in season 4, where I thought season 4 was okay. I think that this season, I don't know if it's perfect, but I'm really enjoying every episode so far. I don't think it's had any glaring weak points.
Yeah, it definitely. I am obviously more excited to see how The Boys ends right now, because everything in both shows is building up to that. But like, I care more about Marie's storyline than I do about Huey at the moment. You know what I mean? Or like, what's going to happen with them versus what's going to happen with certain other characters. There's definitely some characters in Gen V who I find their storylines more interesting than certain people in The Boys. am really looking forward to everything that happens going forward for the rest of the season, because this show has been, even though I thought the beginning was a little shaky for the first episode, only because you do have to deal with Andre's actor passing away in real life. But
right.
I do wonder what we would have gotten if we would have gotten them in Elmira for the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and how much the season did change. Obviously, it was a tragedy that had happened, but they have handled it in the best way they possibly can,
Yeah, I mean, Chase Perdomo, his passing was so tragic when it was announced. Young actor in a successful show. It was just it just sucks. So, and it's always difficult when you have to write around a tragic passing. But I think that they've handled it really well, especially the idea of Marie ascending to top dog, him feeling a responsibility to save his comrades and pushing his powers too far, and then tying that into his father as well. That's something they deal with, that if they keep using their powers, they have this cell degradation, and eventually it's going to cost them their lives. And his legacy, the conspiracy of his death, the fact that it's not publicly known, that they're not sharing that information. When Jordan has that big speech, typical Vought, they're able to, just call her crazy. Kate makes that video and says, no, it was Antifa who attacked me. But I think overall they've handled that in a way where it's still sad, because the character has been killed as well. But I think they've honored the legacy of what that character brought to the show in season 1 in a way where his memory isn't lost and it is tasteful.
Yes, and, exactly.
And it's, like I said, it sucks that the kid passed away, man. They've done a good job of elevating Marie into that. I mean, and she sort of was your main protagonist in season 1 too, but I've just been really impressed with what they've done with her character and how important they've made her while still keeping her very, very grounded.
Yeah. I mean, Marie, one of my favorite scenes of her this season was when she goes to visit her aunt. I forget what her name is, but you know who I'm talking about, when she goes to the house to ask, and she says to the aunt, she's like, yo, I'm just a kid who got my period. You guys are treating me like a monster. Like I'm just a normal person who experienced something that happens to every person ever,
Yeah, and her parents were the one who gave her the fucking compound V. It sounded like she made that choice.
And that honestly was a moment for me that made me feel like, obviously I knew that she wasn't at fault for it, but it really hits you where it's like, yeah, they're really ostracizing her for something that she couldn't control at all. And she is just as much of a normal person, but she just has powers, She has normal day things happen to her, even though she's a superhero, which has kept her very, made her relatable, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's these people in her life blaming her for what others have done to her, which really sucks. And that was a great moment for Marie to get that off her chest, to say, hey, I'm the fucking victim here. What happened to my parents was horrible. And obviously I wish it didn't happen. But to blame me, especially you as an adult, is absurd.
Turn my sister against me.
Right.
to make it so that she thinks that I'm some villain for something that I could have never controlled.
Yeah, it's this fear of the unknown, and also this just unwillingness to accept that things are out of your control. She can't accept that it wasn't Marie who did this, that Marie's not a monster. It has to be, because it just makes the most sense. It's the easiest pill to swallow to make Marie the monster, the villain of this situation. But
exactly.
the reality is far more complex, and it just boils down to victim blaming. And we see Marie's reluctance to push her powers in the scene with Cypher, which I've really enjoyed too, because, my comic book nerdy brain, or even My Hero, I'm like, man, do these guys ever get formal training on how to use their powers? Because it seems like the adult superheroes have no idea what they're doing. So Cypher actually using this clever test of, can you float the bags? And at first she struggles with it. It breaks. At the second go, she's able to float all of them. That to me was an anime moment. It was a moment of her character leveling up. And with a show like this, that's eventually going to result in something horrible. But I think in that moment, and even Marie feels this way, it was cool to see. It was a moment of pride for Marie to see how strong she actually is. But then when he makes her lift the goat,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. I'm confused with Cypher. I'm like, shouldn't you like Elon? But I guess not. That was, I felt bad for Elon. Fucking goat, man. That would have scarred me. I don't want to kill no fucking animals.
You just said Elon's the fucking goat in the same sentence. That's crazy.
Somebody's gonna clip that.
Nerd soup exposed.
Oh yeah, no. All of a sudden, we're gonna have a whole new fucking audience.
Yeah, but that is something that we didn't see much of them in like class in the first season, even though it sounds crazy, but they're in a college. They're in a My Hero type of situation where in My Hero, I know it's annoying to compare them, but it's the same thing basically, where in My Hero you see them training in class all the times. They're just learning how to use their powers. But in this, it's like we see them in superhero like media class, we see them in stuff like that, everything but understanding how to use their powers. So
right,
that Cypher has honestly locked in for the curriculum, at least for these students. He's trying to see them do their best. So I'll give him that's one good thing about Cypher.
Yeah, Viking showing up was pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah, that dude is insane, dude. And then he was commentating the fight between them. You know what I do need though? I need the before the season ends, the B girl. I need her to sting somebody on accident and die. Just for I feel like they've been hinting at that the whole season, where she's always like, back up. Do you want to die? I don't want to die. She's gonna accidentally sting somebody and die. And it would be pretty funny if it was Cypher. It would be pretty funny.
That's a funny bit. And I think that some of the social commentary they've done, it's not as integral to the plot like it is in The Boys, where they really mirror our political situations.
Oh yeah.
In Gen V, it's there. It's there more on the peripheries. Quick comments like after the fight, one of the reporters asks Marie, Jordan clearly had a biological advantage when they were fighting as a male. Do you think that trans athletes should be banned from sports? Just real quick throwaways. And
but that's what makes the show so good, how they're so clever by doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a little detail that's just in the background that you hear for like 1 second, but it gets you on your couch laughing.
Yeah. And even the idea of superheroes being this all powerful, almost a 1%, that if the 99% Cypher says, or if he says, if humans all got their shit together and they outnumber us by such a wide margin, we wouldn't stand a chance, even with our superpowers. So this idea of supremacy and wanting to take over the world by force, not because you are superior, because that's essentially admitting, yeah, we have superpowers, but at the end of the day, we're still powerless to stop them if they all did group together. So I found that to be interesting. And Cypher, I guess you could just chalk him up as if there's no Godolkin conspiracy, or it could be Godolkin himself, as just a supremacist, where that's all he believes in is bigotry, racism, supremacy for soups. And but the way they've written him, the monologues, the cleverness of the character. He recently said that he doesn't like doing monologues because he struggles to remember them, but that everybody keeps casting him to do these long ass monologues because he's so good at them.
I need him doing monologues in every show ever, forever.
Yeah. He's a delight to watch.
Yo, he gets in his bag, dude.
Yeah, he's really a great actor.
What else is he in besides Midnight Mass and this? I haven't really seen him in much.
He's got like bit roles here and there, but he doesn't really have any, great iconic film roles. I think Midnight Mass was not the first time I'd really seen him in anything, but the first time he really stood out. Like he was in The Big Short.
Okay.
He was recently in Nickel Boys, which was, kind of playing a similar character, an authority figure who's kind of a dick. But yeah, nothing great. And I think that's such an annoying aspect of Hollywood these days, is you have so many great actors who, if it was 40, 50 years ago, he wouldn't be the biggest star in the world, but he would get his occasional, every few years, leading role in a gritty drama because he's such a great and weird little actor. But yeah, it just feels like we haven't seen. I mean, Midnight Mass was honestly like a masterpiece of a show, so I don't want to say we haven't seen the best of him, but it feels that way. It feels like he's gonna win an Oscar one of these days. Like he's that good.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't really give consideration to superhero shows for what is it, Emmys, right? Emmys, but
Yeah,
he
maybe.
could get a shout, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
I know there's been a lot of good stuff this year, but hey, he would have one of my votes. Let's see how he ends up this season.
So he's done a lot of theater, which makes sense. He feels like a theater actor.
This says he's in Fantastic Four, the original.
Yes, he is. He's like Doom's assistant.
Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard. Who could forget Leonard?
Yeah, I'm sorry. To all my Fantastic Four 2005 stands.
You're going to have fucking motherfuckers with pitchforks. Justice for Leonard. It's been a good season so far. And I really think you fucking nailed that whole theory with Godolkin.
Yeah, dude, I was saying that from like episode 1.
No, you were.
Not really episode 1, but like the episode where I texted you right after I watched the episode where you see the safe or the like safe in the room or whatever.
Yeah, after the first 3, you definitely were on that shit.
Yeah, so let me write these shows, dude. Just let me go for it. Somebody sign me to like give me $100 bill. I'll write Rings of Power season 3.
They need you in a writer's room, and it's they pitch or they just give you the scripts, and you're like, I cracked the.
If I'm able to crack the conspiracy, they got to rewrite the whole script.
But even to the, I made this point earlier that sometimes a conspiracy, even when it's staring you in the face, can be very satisfying because it's how are the rest of the characters going to react to that information?
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like, I almost wouldn't mind if they would have told us up front that it was Godolkin.
Yeah. Wow. We have 3 more episodes. That's sick. All right. I'm excited because it's already felt like we've done a lot this season, even though we haven't done a crazy amount, but it feels like we've advanced a lot as a plot. 3 more episodes. Who knows what they could do with that? Ending's going to be crazy. I need a big fight. Starlight pulls up.
That was shocking. It's always so weird seeing, it almost felt like she wasn't Starlight. I don't know why. It felt more like Erin Moriarty playing Starlight.
She's Annie.
All right, so who are you betting on dying? We'll end it with that.
If I have to take guesses on who's gonna die, I think we get Polarity's done.
Polarity's finished. Done. Yeah, I think he goes out with a bang though. He's got to avenge his son in some way.
I think Polarity's done. I think the 2 girls who have been helping out Emma.
Oh God,
like the chameleon girl. I think they've been like so full of hope, and Emma's been giving them so much hope and stuff that them dying would really hit Emma tough. So I think they gotta die for the character development. Sorry, whatever her name is, Harper, maybe.
Or dude, even Emma's new boyfriend.
Yeah, I'd be cool with him going. And then I know I'm saying everybody's gonna die right now, but I think Jordan or Kate also have a chance of dying as well.
See, it feels like there are so many good options to kill people off.
Yeah,
for the emotional
you really don't
weight.
know who it'll be.
Like, I think Kate's safe. I think Kate's safe because of her redemption, and I feel like she still has some moments of heroism in her future. But Jordan just, especially with the powers, them being the vague force push, really strong. It's like, is there room for 2 really strong people if Sam is kind of becoming more chill? That's where it feels like, okay, the natural choice here is Jordan because what it does for Marie's character, and it would be gutting to lose her lose them because Jordan's my favorite character. But yeah, I think that's the best choice, and maybe Emma's crew, Emma's little mini crew.
Yeah, I feel like they're just there, and it's just so like the boys to kill them off in like a gruesome way. Like they think that they're making a difference, and I hope they do make a difference, you know? And then they just like are excited. Maybe they turn around and it's like, look, Emma, look what we did, and then boom, just dead.
Yeah, that would be it would be hilarious if they died and didn't make a difference after all the hype.
Yeah.
But Polarity dying and not exposing Cypher in some way or taking Cypher with him, but in a way that's a satisfying end for Cypher, because he's someone where when Jordan tells him you're in pain, and it's finally where he doesn't get the last word in a conversation, was so satisfying, because I kept thinking to myself, like, man, this guy is just walking circles around everyone, and he's a dick. The way he says shit, like when he was talking about Andre, like his frail little body, I was like, yo, you have to kill him right there, man. You can't let him speak to you that way.
Dude, and when he just grabbed the knife and stabbed himself, Polarity was shook, bro.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, all right, I got to finish. I don't even know if I want to finish this steak, but I got to at least eat the rest and get out of here.
Bro, he fucking stabs himself and then uses the bloody knife in the steak. How could you do that to the steak? That was the most fucked up part of the whole interaction.
It looks pretty good, dude. I think it was like a porterhouse.
Yeah, they were like, your filet mignon.
Crazy.
Ice cold Pepsi.
That was the most disrespectful part.
That was worse than what happened to Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jordan. I love you, but God, that steak was looking juicy. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our review of Gen V Season 2 up until episode 5. First 5 episodes. Cam, thanks so much for joining me. What do you got going on today?
I'm going to celebrate the Yankees winning last night. I was at that game. Let's go Yanks. I'm probably going to play some Ghost of Yote. It came out today.
Ooh, what are the reviews looking like?
Well. I haven't seen any reviews at all, honestly, but Tsushima was one of my favorite games of last generation, so I'm hoping that it's at least 80% of that. And if so, then it'll be worth my time.
Oh, shit, it's getting good reviews.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Yo, I'm about to tap in. I loved Ghost of Tsushima, man.
Yeah, bro, tap in. It just came out at midnight. Now's the time.
I think me and Andres actually reviewed that.
Sick invite.
Yeah, that's my bad. When was that? 2018? No, Tsushima's... Is it?
2020? It came out the same year as Tilu, right? Tilu 2?
Yes, it did.
Like right before PS5 dropped, I think.
I remember Albie being like, this is basically a game where you're Batman, but you can kill.
You're absolute Batman.
No, I'm about to tap in. AKA, I'm going to buy it, never play it.
Sounds like a plan.
RIP to those $70. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Unless this is on Patreon, then, just keep pledging. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.